Hello viewers, how you doing? My name is Daniel.
I am Mikey.
Welcome to Time Out with Mike and Dan. So for today's episode, this is our maiden edition and we brought to you a very interesting story. Alright, so we are going to be quoting a lot of newspapers because we are trying to avoid trouble like what's going on with Very Dark Man now. Alright, so this story is very interesting. And we're not here to analyze, we're going to be debating. We're different. This show is different from, every other news analysis that you're always watching because we are trying to make this as professional as possible where what you're hearing is actually balanced. Okay, so we'll both be debating. Alright, so let's hear the story first and then we'll get straight into it. Alright, so according to The Punch, Daily Trust, and Sahara Reporters, in June 2022, Mr. Mohammed, a final year student in the Department of Environmental Management and Toxicology, Federal University, Dutse, Jigawa State, said that the then First Lady, Mrs. Aisha Buhari, had suddenly added massive weight after taking part in plundering the nation's meager resources as the masses endured hardship under her husband's regime. He was later picked up by the officers of the Department of State Services on November 8th. And I think he was charged with either cyberbullying or the penal code. I think they should still let him go afterwards, still sketchy there. However, fast forward to 2024, according to the leadership and Sahara Reporters, a video came out on the 22nd of February 2024 showing an Islamic cleric, Idris Tenshi, describing the current First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, as an infidel who should be killed. Now, in her reaction a few days after that, at an event in Bauchi State on the 13th of March, she defiantly stated that at over 60 years of age, she is too seasoned to be afraid of death. May all Nigerians not be afraid of death so that this country can move forward. Alright, so the Bauchi State Governor Bala Mohammed condemned the cleric's statement and deemed it as a national embarrassment. And he vowed that Idris Tenshi would face punishment. However, as a close of business today, the 29th of March, which is a public holiday, no action was actually taken on Idris Tenshi. Actually, we heard that he even apologized. Alright, but that's not what we're here for. Which brings us now to the topic of the day, which comes in form of a question. Who is an
Infidelity.
not infidelity? Who is an infidel?
No problem.
Who is an infidel? Alright, so we're gonna do a coin toss, and our coin today is hello Canon, how you doing? We're using this as a coin for the day. Alright, so heads or tails?
How can you ask me something like that? I always the head.
Whatever. Alright, so let's do that again.
When I say something, you don't have to do this breathing. And the head, no problem.
No problem. Alright, so viewers, what that means is, as the head, he has to support the topic which states that the senator, that is the First Lady, Senator Remi Tinubu, is an infidel. I will go against the topic.
No problem. This question you're asking me like this. Me, I support Idris Tenshi. I support Idris Tenshi because sometimes when something like this do happening, or someone say a thing like this, you don't just look at it and say, what is this one saying? Do sitting down like this and analyze the reason why one can say a thing like that before you can do say anything you want to say about that thing.
Really?
Because you cannot just say that this man just standing up like that and says one thing like that without a cause. To me, I agree with you. Now let us look at it in this perspective.
Okay.
The big Alhaji in the Asu Rock,
Oh, the president.
Then the Sumora Alhaji in the Azurok.
Vice president.
These two are Alhaji Radis. So one time, both of them are Alhaji, you know that we will. They now come together number of times to sit down like this and do discussion on something that is going to do to support the all the Alhajis and all the imam and the cleric like this. Then when such discussion like this is being taking place, then the big Alhaji can, after which the decision in the office can be agreed upon. You know, sometimes this Alhaji, they don't have plenty of time like that. Then it is the cleric and the imam that do pray for them, like that. The administration is successful for all of them, and they get plenty people in the ashram that can do giving them some information like that. Then when this decision can now be made in favor of them, then they now pass the information to them. Then they are not very happy that something like this is going to come up. Something like this is coming up very, very short. Then when the big Alhaji now return back to the house, the big Alhaji now enter the inner room to do performing of the inner room duty. Then Senator Remi Tinubu can now say that discussion in the office today, you are not passing the discussion across to me. As the decision you guys have been taking in the office for this, the big Alhaji can now begin to say something. Say, no, if you don't tell me that very thing that happened in the office today, I cannot allow you to perform the inner room duty. You know, the inner room duty is very, very strong like this, sometimes for men like this to reduce the stress of the day like that. So something like that. The big Alhaji cannot do passing all the information to the inner room because the duty of the inner room is very, very important. Then in answer that, then Remi Tinubu cannot say this time that this particular decision is not going to do supporting my people. You know, someone like me, I am a pastor, so something like this cannot do supporting. So I cannot support something like this. Then the big Alhaji can say, okay, no problem. Because of the inner room, I am going to do it like this. That decision, I'm going to cancel it with my power. Like this, no problem. Then I return back to the Asirok the next day, and the small Alhaji now said that, big Alhaji, this decision we are not taking like this. How can we do it now? He said, no, we are going to keep it in view, no problem. In fact, that decision we will now do it again. Then the information now reach Alhaji Idris or cleric Idris' attention. Then what will happen? He said, all the time, all the number of time we have been having agreement like this and something like this have been taking place, and we take a decision. Big Alhaji will enter the inner room, come outside, do counseling. That fish inside the inner room like this is a problem. So that fish is an infidelity. Something like that. And that's the reason why all of this thing like this now, Tianshina came outside and said that fish in that inner room is an infidelity.
I disagree. I totally 100% disagree. Now let's start with the basics. What's the definition of an infidel? Alright, now an infidel, alright, is somebody or an individual who does not pay reverence or follow the supreme God. The big Alhaji, the small Alhaji, the cleric, all follow the supreme God through Prophet Muhammad, peace be upon him. The first lady follows the supreme God through Jesus Christ. So there is no such thing as she is an infidel according to this definition and according to how I've broken it down. You cannot say she's an infidel. One of the characteristics of that same supreme God is mercy. The supreme God shows mercy. Now, when we look at the reaction of Senator Remi Tinubu, she showed Idris Tenshi mercy. When you want to compare with what happened with the former First Lady, where this boy was immediately, okay, not immediately, but he was picked up by the DSS and even taken to court. She just came out and said, look, I'm over 60 years, I'm not afraid of death. And that was the only reaction. Nothing happened to Idris Tenshi. That is her showing mercy, which is an attribute of the Supreme God. So I put it to you that you cannot call her an infidel. No, He's totally wrong. I totally disagree.
No, Swanta, all this plenty grammar, do disturbing my brancata. No problem. Let me tell you something. All this Ajia and Amiria and this, have you ever seen me or them coming outside in the open and do praying?
Okay. I get a point.
They don't do coming outside to do praying. Their praying is inside the house. That is the former Alhaji in the Asuro, Oga Buhari.
Okay, yeah.
Oga Buhari told all of us that the position of the woman in the house is the kitchen, then the inner room.
His famous Zioza.
The inner room. No problem. That is the position of the women. But this current administration say no, that women is very important. So we cannot just give the position of the women only in the inner room. That the position of the women, the Araji, Oga Tinubu, do preparation immediately for the office of the first lady, do renovation, everything up for the first lady. Then today we are not hearing how the first lady have been going out to so many places doing ritual empowerment to the women. Yes. Then do talking to the women like this. That come, let me tell you something. You as a woman, you don't need to read the house. You do coming outside, do one or two things that your hand can find doing. Then she do supporting them with ritual market money like that. Those of them doing marketing. So that they can be selling something in the market, getting some ritual money, so that they cannot be subjected to their husband only. Then something like that. They're even telling them that if your husband do bullying in the house, just come to the Ministry of Women Affairs, do reporting. Then the DSS can pick him, then beat him, put him, and it's going to treat him very, very well. How to take care of women in the house. And this Senator Remi Tinubu, I'm telling you that she is the one controlling the highest corporation in this country, because women are more, the number of women in this country is more than the number of men in this country. Then someone that is controlling the highest corporation in this country, now visiting Bauchi State, maybe the senator gather all the women, then talk to them, then advising them and giving them some little money to do helping themselves in market like that. Then when the women are returning back home, then the Idris Tenshi just come up to do bullying. Then the one cannot say, don't bully me like that again. No. If you do something like that again, I am going to deal with you way. That the senator are giving us backbone. That the senator are giving us plenty backbone. If you do anything like this with me again, I am going to deal with you way. I will report it to the Ministry of Women Affairs. Then the man now said that something like this is going to disturb my happiness in the house. So I cannot allow something like this. Someone that is saying a thing like this is an infidelity or is an infidel. So that is the reason. I still totally disagree. That is not enough. There is not enough justification for that statement. Absolutely not. Now, in the 21st century, we have what we call gender inclusion. All right, we have what we call gender inclusion, which means we allow the females to have a voice. All right, if the females can successfully manage your home when the husband is not around, I put it to you that they can manage your whole community and even go further as a whole country. Case in point, even now we have the Vice President of the United States of America, she's a female. We had a president, the president of Germany, this is the German Chancellor, Angela Merkel. She spearheaded, was in charge of a whole country, and they recorded excellent achievements. So this notion of women not being able to talk or should not talk is totally unnecessary, because when you even in the grand scheme of life and in the grand calculations of life, when you remove the voice of a woman, you're removing the voice of a mother, you're also removing the voice of a wife, what you're going to be left with in that calculation is chaos. Okay?
So I totally disagree that because women do not pray, or maybe Idris Tanchi and the former president are used to women being in the kitchen, that is why the first lady is an infidel. No, that is not correct. I totally disagree with that. And furthermore, if this woman is empowering other women, do you know that, it's been going around on social media, yeah, guys, that even men are now asking women, hey, what are you bringing to the table? Why? Because Nigeria right now is a very hard country to run. As an individual, just operating, as a man who has a family, it's very difficult. So nowadays, everybody wants the woman to be able to be capable of doing something. They don't want the woman who's a liability. Nobody wants that. We want women who are hardworking and who can also bring something to the table, which is what the First Lady is doing by empowering these women with the market schemes and other forms of empowerment that she's doing, so that they can also come out and also be able to add to what the husband is bringing, so that they can effectively manage a home. I put it to you that those men that bully their wives at home are doing that because they are trying to subjugate that woman not to talk. They're trying to silence her voice. And also because maybe she's not bringing anything to the table. So they feel they're in charge. So you see, that's why the First Lady is already tackling this issue by empowering them so they can have something to bring to the table, so that these men do not look at them like
and that's the problem. Why Idris Tanchi said that the First Lady is an infidel.
It's not a problem. That's the solution right there. That's not a problem. And then to round this off, the president himself, President Bola Ahmed Tinubu, is a very wise man, a very tact politician. He cannot come and present a First Lady who is an infidel to the Nigerian population. Just as he used the statistics that the First Lady is ruling the majority of Nigeria, which is women, I agree. Now, do you also know that the majority of people in Nigeria worship the Supreme God? So it is not in the right calculations of a grand politician like a president to field a First Lady who is an infidel, because it will not go well with Nigerians. It won't even go well with his political class to be able to, field somebody who is an infidel like that. Alright, so I put it to you that the First Lady is not an infidel, based on whatever point you're saying. Viewers, I don't know what you're thinking. I believe you're going to be supporting me because, come on. The First Lady is not an infidel.
No problem. I know you are going to do supporting Mikey. Hit the subscribe button. Do ranking it. Share it to everyone, for everyone to see this point, and put your own mind in the comment section. Let us know what you are thinking about this particular argument. Thank you.
Alright, thank you so much, guys. We'll see you in the next episode.
Yes.